say at a Walgreens or whatever. Is anybody using that in this group today?
Perry, I can tell you, I am not using it. I have definitely looked at it, and it's really interesting technology. I have not had a chance to implement it anywhere, but it's definitely, I think, a viable alternative to the Nokē stuff when you don't have the good internet. So, yeah, I'd love to hear if anybody else has had it, but I have not had. I've seen it, I've tested it, but I haven't actually seen it in action.
Well, we're really considering doing it, and we've got the basically the cylinder locks, and of course they work great, but you do have to have a key. And so with this system, there would be a little black box where the when you come in the gate where you normally put your code, where you would hold the phone to that. Same thing for the doors going in the building. And then of course their locks would all work off their phone completely. The lock, the little boxes would actually open immediately. Now, if you're talking about using your phone to open a lock, it counts down, especially if you've not used the lock that day. It takes about 5 seconds on my phone to unlock, which is not instantaneous. They're working on that. But it's such a cool idea. Not, it's just a capacitor inside that lock that takes the charge from your phone and turns that little wheel that opens the lock. And so nobody in the that's on today has used it so far. Is, I guess, my question.
So
Jessica got her hand up.
So I didn't use a facility, but Rob asked me to be one of the testers when the lock was still in development, and I was the VP of operations at Strat. So I took those locks and I put them in an air fryer and used them. I soaked them in water for 48 hours and used them. The only time that I found a hitch in their giddy up is when you put a phone that is an older kind of
Yes.
knockoff, non-NFC phone.
Right.
They won't work for. So if you're in a rural area with folks who are maybe getting like a jailbreaking, a broken phone off of Amazon or something like that, they might have a little bit of struggles with that. But other than that, I'm going to tell you, if there's a heat spike, if there's a lot of rain in your area, which, have typically been struggles for Nokē, and I love Nokē. I'm a big Nokē fan. Or if just the idea of the battery replacements and the upkeep of that is hard for your facility, I think Rob's locks are genius. And the only reason I didn't get to deploy them to my facilities is because we had already deployed full Nokē to all of our facilities.
Okay.
So we weren't going to pay twice, but he still let me
that's wonderful for news for you to tell me that. I want to mention that to my partner, that you had tried to cook them or drown them and they still work.
Cooked them.
So it's such a cool, and they call it KISS, keep it simple. It is just a simple little capacitor. I don't know these people that dreamed it up. I mean, you don't have Wi-Fi, you don't have Bluetooth, so you don't have any of those issues if Wi-Fi goes down or whatever. So, but like you said, if they've got an old phone, what we were probably going to do is to roll these out. I've got at that particular property, I think I've got 555 units, maybe roll out 100 to see how they work. And unfortunately, or a positive point, I guess, is that I don't have hardly any vacancies, which I wish I had a bunch more now. But maybe I can keep the old system at the same time, where people that don't want it, they can still punch a code in and they can still use their cylinder lock. And then the other people will be just tap that black box where the controller is for the gate and enter that way. So it'd be a dual system that way. I'm assuming that's going to work. That's what I'm going to try to do.
Hey, Jess, question for you: Is there any type of logging on the locks, and I mean, I'm assuming on the gate, but on the locks, are they tracking any logs on the locks?
Are they doing what? I couldn't understand you.
So at the point that I tested them, they were not. but
Okay.
I know that it was in development. So that might be a question for Mr. Perry if he's seen the system recently.
What was his question?
If
Are
there
they?
are,
Yeah,
I'm
Jess.
sorry, Jim, go ahead.
My question was, loggings are very important. So gate logs, and are they tracking on logs when the locks are open, when they're not open, stuff like that?
Yes, yes. Well, I hadn't installed them yet, but yes, that's part of the system, so that the management can be cut down expenses on management and do more stuff just with the computer or the laptop or the desktop or whatever, and they can overlock them, much like Nokē, and do those kind of things that they manually have to go out every morning and check all the locks to see if anything's been broken into. And if so, if a door's open or something, it's going to report it to the manager on site or on a cell phone.
Is this what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, with that's not what I'm going to use. That's a whole latch. All I'm going to do is just take out the barrel lock and replace it with a new barrel lock that has the technology. And then they also have, for my older facility that doesn't have barrel locks, it has the typical padlock type deal. They've got a round lock, much like the locks that are hard to break into, and it has the technology. So you can hang these on doors, and they can tap on the back side of this lock, and they can enter that way if it's an older facility like the other one I'm talking about.
Cool.
Looks
Yeah.
just like it looks just like a round lock, except on an end of it, it's got this hard pad, and you just touch that with your phone, and it locks and unlocks.
Yeah, I'd rather have a disc lock than a cylinder lock any day of the week. I despise cylinder locks; are a pain in the ass.
Well, they have them both, so whatever works best for you. But we didn't want to replace the whole HAS system. If you were doing it from day one, that'd be all right. But obviously, we've already got these facilities operating, and we don't want to remove all that crap and reinstall it. So the cylinder lock, we just get a new cylinder lock that works off the technology, and then the other properties that use this older padlock situation, we just use the padlock. They're about 50 for the padlock, and I think 60 for the cylinder lock. So they're a lot cheaper than Nokē, much cheaper.
Very cool.
And they don't have any ongoing fees like Nokē has. So
yet the keyword there, Perry, is yet. I'm going to tell you yet, because everybody does it, and then everybody comes out with fees down the road once they got your system in place. Now they're going to start charging fees.
Well, they might. But they don't right now. I mean, I guess they could, just like a telephone company or the cell phone. You get a cheap rate, and then a year later, it's twice as high. Yeah. But I don't know whether they're going to do that or not.
Cool.
Well, that's good. Cool. Thanks for bringing that up, man. I'll have to do some more research myself. But really, it comes down to, I always say this, but ask them flat out. Can you give me 3 or 4 people that are actually using this contact information? Call those people that have actually been using it for a while.
Yeah.
That's.
Well, I did call. They do have some people they provided me names of, and this particular person said that he said, "Yeah, I've installed them in 4 of my." He's got a bunch of properties in Washington State. He said, "I installed them on 4 properties so far," and he said, "To be honest with you, they work flawlessly." That was his take on it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'd much rather hear that than a salesperson. So.
Yeah, well, for sure. Yeah, right, exactly.
That's the way to go. Yeah. Well, thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, so that's all I wanted to say. I don't want to take up everybody's time. There's other.
No, you're fine. That's valuable. Anybody new here? I know it's I guess first off, thanks for the diehards on the holiday for showing up.
Yeah, make America great again.
Right. I appreciate you guys showing up. So I was telling Joe in the beginning of this, we could have skipped it, but I thought I'd just be consistent. If it falls on a holiday, so be it. So
yeah.
It's small but mighty. I'm glad you guys are showing up here. Anybody new? I'm just kind of looking at the names and that. Anyone new here? This is their first time?
Don't see any.
I don't think so. Cool. All right.
We have a question in the chat, and I got a question for Eva.
Go ahead. What's in the chat?
Well, Jonathan's got a question. So, Jonathan, you want to hop up and ask your question?
Oh yeah. Hi guys. I have a question for the group. Because I've been struggling, I've been struggling with trying to fill occupancy and rates. And how do you guys handling that? Is there a certain method you use to fill up the occupancy and then revenue management? Because it's been hurting right now, so.
That's good. Well, let's dig in a little bit. Where are you at? What's your area?
I'm in Midland, Texas, and we have a boat storage. And what happened was a year ago or 2 years ago, we had a break-in and we lost some good long-term tenants. And I've been trying reducing rates and doing promos and half off. And it seemed like it's the problems that the transient tenants, they come a few months, they leave. So it's hard to get the long-term tenants. And I don't know what method you guys using. Are you struggling? How about your rates being your new competition? What are you guys doing there?
So it's just outdoor boat storage?
Yeah, canopy outdoor
What's the
boat.
name of the company, Jonathan?
Smart RV and boat storage in Midland.
All right. Well, I got your page up right here.
Yeah.
I'm looking here. Well, first of all, if I click the link to go to the smartrvstorage.com, it said the connection's closed. It can't connect.
It should be Smart RV and boat storage, Midland and Google. It should pull up.
Is it 3200 Gist Avenue?
Yes. Yes.
All right. Well, I'm on Bing right now. When I clicked on it, and there's a rental button, it takes me to smartrvstorage.com /page/rent. Let me show you. Let me share, Jim.
Oh yeah. Usually I go to Google, so Bing I'm not sure. We'll see.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You got to make sure you're everywhere because I'm looking. You guys can. So I went back and looked. Start again.
Okay.
All I did was, I went back and did a bonus. So you're here, right here.
Yeah.
You show.
Okay.
And I click on it. Brings me over here.
Okay.
I click on this rentals button right here. And it does nothing.
Okay, I gotta fix this Bing. I didn't look at Bing. Okay.
Yeah, Bing is a whole other
that's the
animal.
first thing.
Bing is a whole other animal with AI search right now coming into play. I'm sure the marketers aren't here can speak more about it than I can, but specifically on Bing, it's a little different animal on what's getting indexed for search results. So yeah, definitely check on that. When you say you're for occupancy, how much are we talking about here? Are you
well, like 59%, 60%, somewhere around there, and it's been hard because we're getting move outs and it's difficult, So
boats and RVs just in general, and again, I haven't managed one of those in a while, so this is just me picking off the cuff, but it's definitely a little different seasonal wise compared to traditional storage. So I'm just trying to think when the actual
Can I jump in?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so I do manage a couple of boat and RV. I help manage a couple of boat and RV facilities. Right now, it's not seasonality, unfortunately. So we're kind of dealing with people pulling out their RVs. The best thing to do is look at your future clientele for the next couple of months. And to Jim's point is look at all of your citations and make sure that they are leading to the correct website, because a frustrated customer is going to be a non-customer, ultimately, the way that the internet works now.
Okay.
So your biggest thing is going to get a citation listing manager. So you can use like SEMrush, Yext, Jesse. I think you could come up with like 5 more off the top of your head as well. And use that and drop your name, address, and phone number exactly how you have it on your website into that citation manager, and then push out your listings. That way you have everything consistent so that you can manage that from one place. So that's going to be your biggest thing, because without that, you're going to have a lot of people who are getting to your, like you just experienced Jim get to your website through a different medium that you wouldn't think of. So that's just one of those things that you really want to maintain. And also with those citations, what that's really bringing into play is the AI search reviews, like people are searching on their AI. Some of those citations lead right into the AI searches. And if you don't have them correct, then your AI search is going to be incorrect.
Okay. And then what about your mini, Jim? I know you have one in, say, Amarillo. You have a lot of competition. How do you deal with that when you're leasing up and you have to do a lot of auctions?
Yeah, it's a dogfight for sure. I kind of the bottom foundation. I always make sure Google Business Profile is optimized to the T as much as possible. And frankly, I mean, if you want to share a screen and look at your Google profile, we'll do it in real time. We'll kind of look at it real quick for you. But that's the first thing I always check. Make sure that's optimized as much as possible. Then next is going to be your AdWords.
Yeah.
Are you doing any kind of pay-per-click AdWords campaign?
Yeah, we spend a lot of money. Like at least I try to spend a budget $1,000 a month, SpareFoot, drive-bys, everything I can do. Referral, you say told me last month, Jim, a referral and everything.
Yeah.
Last time, I did all those things, but we're still struggling because new competition, right? You have like we had Avid bought extra storage space in Odessa, 9 of them from Dallas. All of them, my competition, right? Avid storage. We have affordable storage, Lubbock, Amarillo probably, and Odessa, boom, the two brothers in Lubbock, so we're fighting a lot of competition. Our rates are like getting lower because we got to fight them, That's the issue.
Hey, Jim, here's your GBP page.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're getting good reviews, We have a company that gets reviews for us, so we're getting good reviews.
Right. But I think you're missing like product. You can do a lot with products and descriptions and all those things on there that you can do more. I mean, photos.
Yeah, get 20 more photos.
20 more photos, okay.
20 more photos ASAP. Usually I tell people to kind of sprinkle them out. You don't have very many, so just get them on there.
Okay.
Take 20 of those.
Yeah.
Go and close out of that. Click on your reviews.
But products and descriptions you can do on there. There's Jim, what's that one? The questions and answer Q&As. I don't see that on. I mean, there's a lot you can do here to maximize this, which will definitely help with your search. Yeah. Are you responding to your reviews?
I am. I responded to it every week when I go back in there. So
great, very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's just little things like that. But now you said you're on SpareFoot. What's your close rate on SpareFoot? I mean, how fast are you responding? What is your close rate for SpareFoot on your leads?
It's been very weak for Texas. For Arizona, we've been doing well. We're like a rural town, Arizona, Prescott. But in like this Texas, like Austin, Wimberley, and Odessa, Midland, we got like fake leads. Like they come in and they didn't want to. They only they had certain things that we didn't. It was kind of shady. So they reserve, but they don't rent. So that's the issue.
I mean, I know the Midland, Odessa area. We had properties down there before, so and you wouldn't think of Midland and Odessa as boat areas, so maybe for RVs, but yeah, I would maximize. Eva said maximize that stuff first, and then I mean, if you're spending that kind of before I would spend that kind of money, I would make sure. And Eva and Jess, correct me if I'm wrong on this one, but before I spend all that money, I would make sure all my ducks in a row and everything's right before I spend a penny.
Yeah, I'd even like to review your ads account just to make sure that are you like making sure that you're not showing up for because you're strictly boat RV, right? You don't self-storage at all?
Yes. Yeah, we make sure the keywords are not RV parks, and we have a guy who does it every 2 weeks. So a meeting every 2 weeks to make sure he gets it correctly. We do it every 2-week review. He gets paid per move-in, not like a flat fee like these $500 a month and no results. We're not doing that no more. It's pay per lead coming in, almost like SpareFoot.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Okay.
So I've been doing it for like 2 years now, but it's been very difficult. And I know in the storage world, they use something like the KO method where you drop the rates low, maybe the rates and every 3 months increase it slowly or something. Do you guys do that, the KO method or something?
I try not to. I hate playing that game personally.
I hate that game.
You're kind of forced to in some markets. I hate to say it, but sometimes it does force your hand.
It does, because like sometimes you're like in middle of Odessa, we have like, public storage, we have extra storage space. We got everything competitor you can think of. And I have to drop the rates off to compete them. Just a closet, so all these. So
no, I was gonna say it's you can have that moral high ground and draw the line in the sand all you want, but it kind of gets to a certain point. You almost have to just join them in certain markets, because otherwise, again, just put yourself in the customer's point of view. We all know what they're gonna do on the back end 3 months later. We all get it, but if you're an average Joe looking at a website, they're not putting that together. I would love to see. In fact, I need to do this next time because this always comes up. I want to get 4, 5, 6 different websites of what people are doing on their websites to when they're doing like these, price match guarantee or lock rate for the first year, those kind of things. What they're trying to do to combat these low rates that the rates are doing. I just want to see some websites that I can showcase to people. It's one thing talking about it, but I want people to see it.
I was working with a buddy that has one of them, Jim, and he's got right on the website, and he actually does good, better, best, like with Veritech, like I do. and he actually has it on the upper ones that it's a rate lock guarantee. They will guarantee that rate for 12 months if you take that rate.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that. I've
And
seen that.
he said he's gotten some traction on that because people are so used to the markets you're in, are used to people playing games that they can go somewhere and lock that rate in for 12 months or whatever by paying whatever. They've done it. So
Okay. Okay.
all kinds of actions. So yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I see like a dollar moving and all that stuff like that going on. So
I hate the dollar moving. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
yeah. Yeah. But I see my competitors full with dollar moving. I'm like, hey, how do you get full with this? And I'm not full, you know. So
go ahead and jump in, Jesse. I see you're putting some stuff in the comments. Go ahead and jump on.
Oh my goodness, this is my favorite hobby.
Dude, yeah, go ahead.
I'm looking at Track.q. I think you've got really strong, you are like right in a great traffic pattern. That's what that thick orange line is. That means you've got lots of people going past your facility.
You can share your screen if you want.
Yeah, I dropped the relevant screenshots into the comments,
got it.
so that everybody can see specifically. I also did a market differentiation. I just asked GPT really quick. And again, even though you're not indexed to Bing, so they're not going to recommend you if somebody asks about storage. They can scrape your website if it's given to them specifically, and use that to do a market comparison, right? So what I asked it to look at was what customers are mentioning in reviews, and the sentiment of that, and then amenities of nearby competitors that it scraped as well. And it looks to me like you have some of the best amenities in your area.
Mhm.
So I think also the way that and Eva actually would be more expert at this, the way that your pricing is structured in your website is making it hard for GPT and probably other Google services, Yelp and Bing, to scrape your pricing. That's just the structure of your website. And I know that can be hard to change and a little bit pricey. But
I use Easy Storage, so it's the Easy Storage software. So.
Yeah, it's a hard one to change. So yeah.
It is, yeah. And so that might be a little bit hard to change, but so if I had a client that was using Easy Storage, and again, I don't consult anymore, so this as of early this week.
Really?
Yeah, I got a new job.
Announcement?
I got a new job.
Notify, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
I talk to those guys all the time. They're great guys. I'm very, very happy for you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. But I'm still going to be on here, and I love doing this. So I would use my advertising or target my advertising dollars towards letting people know what my price is. And I would consider maybe doing a market positioning play that you are the premium option and upping your prices just a tiny bit above your competitors. You have to do it with a curb appeal push, though. So you have to put a little lipstick on your on your facility so that the front looks nice. So you can take some good pictures, have somebody from Fiverr throw some white puffy clouds in the background with a bright blue sky, which makes people want to take out their RVs and their boats, right? And that heat maps really well. And then put yourself out there as the premium location with amenities that nobody else has. And that's why you're $100 instead of $99. I've done this play before. It's been successful. I think you might be able to run it.
I appreciate your advice. Any advice will be helpful. At this point in time, it's like so.
Again, just looking at the photos on there, I think like Jess is right. You got so much traffic there. I mean, your sign is, blah. Sorry. Yeah. I would maybe get a couple banners up there. If you can put banners or something on the fence, best in town, best whatever. But people, even if you paint it on the sides of the big buildings, or it's not a banner, a sign like that, how many people are driving by you not even noticing you?
Yeah. I mean, I sometimes I suppose I get some drive-bys, but I guess we can put some more banners out there. Yeah.
Well, here's the question for you. You got signage, right? Yeah. There's no call to action. There's no rent now button. There's no QR code to rent. There's no rent now, call this number, but there's nothing. I mean, I don't see it. So if you had somebody drive by and they don't, the website's not even on that sign, might not call you guys, but if there's a QR code up there that they can just scan and do it, take right to the page, might be advantageous for you.
Oh, great advice. I'll do that. Great advice. Thank you.
Do flags like your background, Jim. I went and
Yeah.
got a 3/4 inch PVC pipe that were 30 foot tall, and they would flap and tie them to the fence, and they would put flags on them, change the flags every 90 days because they fade out. So they're always bright, and it looks like a used car dealership in a sense, right? And those are the ones you notice when you're driving down the street. And we got a lot of traffic from people. And plus, we were on a cul-de-sac, so I'm like, hey, if you see us here, can't miss our flags. Something like that to get their attention. And then, like you said, a call to action. We're the best value in town. I always sold on value, never on price. Because I, from the gas station business back in the day, just a quick note, storage is the only business I ever see people chase to the bottom. A gallon of milk is not all of a sudden 93 cents, right? It's a gallon of gas is not 12 cents when it's regular $5. No one chases each other down, only see it in storage. So I was sold on value. You come to me and I'll show you what we have. Like you said, that list is great compared to the other ones. I've got a dump station. I've got this. I've got this. I've got this. Oh, I didn't know that. Well, come down and check us out and sell the value. Get them in the door and hook them on whatever your value is.
The value. Okay. The value, QR code. That's good.
And I go the opposite of the dollar move-in. So, and I could not agree more, Brian. Thank you so much. You're singing the song of my heart. I tell people, here's your price, and no one else is going to tell you what your price is going to be in a year, and I am. And my name is Jessie Lamb, and here's my phone number, and you can call me if anybody does you dirty and does anything different. If you don't believe me, because people don't, right? They're like, oh, you're going to raise my rent in 3 months. Nope, I'm telling you today what your price is. And it doesn't have to be a year, it could be 6 months, right? But I think that people crave transparency and that integrity. And so, hang your hat on it. I'm going to drop my prompt in the chat here that I use for that.
Yes, even do boat and RV, they're long-term rentals, right? So you could do a discount. Yeah. You could do 5 months or 6 months, 20% off, or 5 months, 20% off. You spread out your discount across the time because they're there.
Yes.
Plus, just asking questions. If whoever's answering your phone, whether it's you or somebody else, is ask qualifying questions. How long do you need storage for? What's your typical travel time? When are you typically using it? Maybe I can make you a better opportunity for the longer you want to stay.
Okay, yeah, good.
Ask questions in which I'm like, no one else is telling me that, right? And like Jesse said, we're the best value in town. And if you want the cheap price, if you want somewhere else, then I suggest you go do that, because a lot of times those people don't pay. They get in for $1, they stay for 2 months, and their cost average is $30 a month, and they move out and they trash the place, they break off your dump station, whatever it is. You just don't want those people. You want quality tenants. And what are you storing? Is it your uncle's cousin's brother's bass boat that you stole from someone, right?
Okay.
It's just better qualifying questions to me. But my background is in sales, so.
No, good. Thank you. I really appreciate the advice. I hope they're really helpful.
Perfect.
So Eva and Jess, I got a question for you guys. So we were just doing a little bit of a comparison this week on a couple things we were working on. And I did a calculation. So in the first 6 months of the year for my 27 stores, we had 1,503 rentals. How many reviews do you think we got out of those 1,500 rentals?
200.
Let's see. I'm thinking percentage-wise, like 20%.
Jess,
I'm thinking lower than that. But with how you're coming at it, I'm gonna go high. I'm gonna go like 800.
Girl, I wish. I had 517 reviews on 1,500 rentals.
That's fantastic.
That's so fantastic.
Jim, that's fantastic. Heck yeah. So give us the juice.
Yeah, tell us how you did it so we can replicate it.
I give a lot of credit to my partner, Storage Reach, Cal Levitt from Storage Reach. But what we saw an influx with him when we started using him, but we built in cycling into our SMS in the cycling program. We could build in reviews as well. So after the move in, they get a whole email with, all the things, and there's a review link there. We've now trained the managers when they're calling to thank the customer for renting, all those things. By the way, Eva, if you really like our product, thank you very much. By the way, we'd really appreciate your support with us. There's a link right in that email. If you could click it, our goal is 5 out of 5 stars. Hope we made your day better. This last month, my one hub, she had a 50% review Now, again, we're only calculating reviews based on rentals. So, I mean, some are other customers, stuff like that, but we're trying to guesstimate it. But 517 on 1,500 rentals.
That's amazing. How many do you have to?
Congratulations, that's kicking ass.
Are you doing follow-ups as well, or is that a one-time blast and people are doing the reviews?
No, we have a drip campaign for those, and managers are also doing them themselves as well. But yeah, we do respond. My daughter gets mad at me because some days she has a lot to respond to because she's doing it when she's working from at home for us after school. But they respond to every single one of them. And I think right now my average star rating for the first 6 months of the year was a 4.85.
That's amazing.
I always encourage people to take that little review link and put it in their thank you for renting with us email, because that is when is your happiest customer? It's when they're renting with you. When they actually get the storage, that's when they're the happiest with you. You're 3 months, 6 months down the line asking for a review. They could have had a rental increase by then or had a negative experience of some sort. So you always want to get them at the very beginning. So getting them on that email is prime real estate.
Jim, do you also do a follow-up with them?
This is important. Eva, did you plan out your hair to match your shirt?
I did not. It constantly happens that I find myself doing that, though. It's like it's unconscious.
Sorry about that. That was vital.
No, I was looking at myself and I was like, wow, it's so matchy right now.
I love it. I interrupted somebody. Go ahead.
No, I just was asking Jim, when you do your follow-up, are you suggesting like every 90 days a referral? Send us a referral. How are you doing? Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, we actually have, so Brian, we actually have in the CRM event we built in SiteLink, I triggered the review to go out, as a review event to go out 30 days after they move in as well. So they're going to get the first one there, but 30 days after they move in, they're going to get another email saying, hey, hope everything's going well. We'd love to get a referral from you. So perfect. Yeah, we built that in there as well.
And congratulations. That's over what, 30% on your reviews. That's tremendous.
Yeah.
Good job.
They've done really well for me. So
is it emails or texts? That's another question I'm always wondering. I never
most the welcome is an email, but we do follow up with texting. I've been trying to track with Kale to figure out which one's more, and we do believe that it's more text message, but the email ones are getting worked on. And just the other thing we've done is even my boots on the ground people, when they're out walking around talking to people, if they're helping somebody fix a door, spray a door spring, whatever, when they finish helping the customer, hey, great, thank you very much. Hey, Jim, would you mind if I had the girls in the office send you a text to give us a Google review? And getting my field people more interactive with talk when they see a customer, don't walk away from them, walk up to them, because all my guys wear shirts that are like neon green, yellow, orange with staff on the back, so they kind of know where they're at.
Yeah, gotcha. Speaking of marketing, getting the phone ring, I saw this on a couple of days ago for marketing, and me about AI. I'm always trying to watch that kind of stuff. And I used to always tell people, like, for social media, I'm like, who cares? You're not going to gain your rentals off social media, and that's kind of a waste. But I just saw that Instagram is starting to get indexed and searched on the AI search results. So didn't believe it.
I wish Melissa Stiles was here, because she's doing something on TikTok. I think Melissa Stiles from Sam has an influencer on TikTok that she's getting rentals from.
Yeah, those work when you have a lot of sites kind of thing, so you can leverage kind of more of a wider net for that kind of thing. But for your local one-off type sites, kind of hard to do. But I saw this on Google indexing the Instagram videos, and yeah, starting in July, they're going to start doing that. So I've kind of looked down on social media for a long time, but I don't know, it's on my radar now. Have you guys seen any of that? Are marketers here on the call here?
Sorry, I'm trying to get to a list that I created for all of like where AI feeds to so that I can share my screen.
Oh, there you go. Sweet. It's something I always want to keep sprinkling in throughout these sessions, because yeah, we got to be aware of this stuff, especially when every rental counts. I mean, if you can kind of get ahead of the curve on some of these things, on getting some extra rentals, cool. Why not?
I'm not a marketer, I'm just an enthusiast, and I've tried literally
Same thing.
everything while I've been operating storage facilities. So but Miss Eva is an absolute expert. So
All right, just next time you're on here, you can't wear an Astros shirt.
just kidding, I'm not sorry. I adopted East Houston as my home, and so with the new job, I moved to San Francisco, which is a big change. So
You're gonna wear a Giants jersey, Giants sweatshirt? Oh,
is that better or worse, Jim?
worse.
Then I'm gonna keep my Astros hoodie.
Well, Darren Kelly will be actually Astros. Houston has a very great baseball stadium. I've been there many times. Great, great atmosphere in there, and yeah. So yeah, you can keep it, I guess. Just they have a cheating denomer behind them. That's all.
I have a passionate soapbox about this, so don't get me started, other than to say that they got caught. The only difference between them and every other team in the league is they got caught. So if you're going to hold anything against them, hold it against them that they cheat dumb.
Yeah. You'll probably see me in San Francisco because I was invited to that Notify meeting.
You know what? I saw your name on the invite and I was so pleased. So yeah.
You gotta give us a 30-second sales pitch. Well, what is Notify?
Oh, good. So I just started as the VP of Self Storage at Notify, and basically what I'm doing is really similar to what I'm doing when I was consulting. Is Notify is a facility operations platform. So think of everything that your PMS leaves out: the physical maintenance of the property, the management of vendors, the checklists that, maybe you have a boots on the ground person, you want to scan in, check in every day and have through a QR code and have what their daily work assignment is pop up on their phone. So that you can have visibility to what's happening at all of your locations physically. They also have a storage integration, and they're working on a Hummingbird integration so that you can do your walkthroughs in your facility ops software and create work order follow-up tickets if you find something wrong while you're doing your walkthroughs. That's the everything and anything in the physical world of your property.
Jim, it's kind of like Rafa, very similar to like Rafa.
Yeah.
Well, way more bells and whistles than Rafa. Jim, shut your mouth.
I said similar. Similar.
Yeah.
You're so much cooler, or I wouldn't be there. So I was consulting.
Yeah, they have you, so
Thank you. I was helping them do some product development for self-storage folks specifically, and was having a grand time helping with kind of onboarding and also, helping their folks who wanted to use the software kind of optimize their workflows and figure out how to do this stuff for smaller operators. And they asked me if I wanted to come and do that full time. So
well, that's cool. Yeah. Oh, good. We'll have to talk about it more in detail later on. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Find my list. If I could share my screen, I'll share it with you guys.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
This will be a little sneak preview. If we're still on for next week, right, Eva?
Yes.
We're going to be doing another storage marketing meetup next Friday. So it's just nothing but marketing for an hour, kind of with me, Eva, and Corey, who's not on today, but be on next week. And don't know what we're going to talk about, but I bet you this might be a little sneak preview.
Yeah, a little bit of a sneak preview. So essentially, I've been doing a lot of research into citations because that was a big topic on our previous storage marketing meetup. So I did a little bit of research into what the citation platforms are, the most important ones, I guess, at the top of the feed. There are over 70, but these are the 16 that feed into some of the more important influences. And then I also basically broke it down by what they feed into. So you go from a Google Business Profile GBP, which does Google search generative engine, which is their AI, then ChatGPT. Then there's Apple as well that's indirectly affected by Google Business. So you can kind of go down this list and see in importance, if you're not showing up in some of these, where you can hit those listings or make sure that those citations are actually being hit. One that I think we're all kind of going to be scratching our head over is this Foursquare one. Foursquare fell off of the map a long time ago, and nobody has thought about them for a very long time. And now all of a sudden they're coming back into the forefront of things because ChatGPT, I think Snapchat and Uber AI are all using that. You can see that here as part of their background algorithm. So it's good to look at all of these different ones, what they feed into.
Isn't Foursquare also Swarm or Square Swarm or something like that?
Is it? I have not looked in Square Storm.
No, Swarm, SWARM. It's some kind of device. If you had the app on your phone, it kind of, when you show up places, it wants you to check in. Yeah.
Yeah, it's yeah. I think if they're, oh, okay. I didn't realize they had another one. That one doesn't feed into any AIs that I could find of.
Okay. I just was asking. That's okay.
But yeah, it was essentially the same thing where you could become like the mayor or king of a place that you check into enough. And yeah, it was like a social check-in type of thing. It worked for a while, but I think people fell off. And then some of these you'll look at, we have some more privatized searchers out there in the market right now, people who are trying to use more data integrity, like with search browsers with more data integrity. So DuckDuckGo, Opera, some of those ones that have better security. I would look to making sure your citations are listed under those ones as well, because you'll miss those guys completely. So I would tell everyone, just take a screenshot of this and take it to your marketer and say, make sure we're on these citations.
Perfect. No, thank you for doing that.
Did I share my screen at all?
Yeah, you did. Thank you.
Okay. I was like, wait, what?
Oh, I would have interrupted you a long time ago if you weren't.
I know. I was like, wait, Jimmy, you let me go through that without sharing my screen?
I'm not that mean. They've kind of been around all over the place today, but we've got about 15 minutes left, so I want to be mindful of everyone's time. Any other questions? Put it in. Oh, I see the question real quick. What does it say? From Usman. Marketing strategies or tools to recommend for startups in emerging markets. For what? To become a partner with somebody? Oh, I have no idea. Become a partner with someone for investing in storage, I would assume. I'm sure
there's a lot of groups out there starting to raise money, Jim, but
yeah, so there's tons of networking groups, but I couldn't even tell you any one specific to even look at. Besides like the storage rebels of the world and income and what's the other one? Storage income. There's like 4 or 5 different little mastermind kind of groups, but Facebook
James Reed's got one, and Heartfire's got one, and Manus has got one, and there's a lot of them out there raising money, trying to, if you want to be part of something, there's plenty of them out there.
Yeah, so like Invest a Storage Group, and what was the other one that you said? There was another guy that you said, but yeah, those are some good ones. Invest a Storage Group is definitely
Pinnacle with John Manus.
Oh yes.
Or, I'm sorry, StoreSuite now.
I was gonna say StoreSuite. I was like, okay. I was like, Pinnacle, StoreSuite. Yes, StoreSuite is one that definitely they're looking for people actively.
And Hearthfire out here on the East Coast. Corinne Altheimer. She's got one too. So there's several out there.
Remember last week or was it 2 weeks ago? My gosh, time flies. I showed you guys that the video, kind of like the testimonial type videos of why choose us. Did everyone see that last weeks ago? Let me play it again. It's worth seeing again because I've showed a few owners of this week, and they're like, kind of blows their mind. Kind of goes back to you, Jonathan. Probably make some of these kind of videos displaying boat, RV type videos for this.
Okay. I also have mini storage too, but yeah, those will help.
Oh, well, yeah. Either way.
Yeah.
Let's share my screen here.
Moved in the same day. Super easy. We all use this place.
Y'all hear that? Okay. So what this is Google VO3. So you can do text to video basically just type in what you want it to say, the scenery, and then voila. It's say voila like it's easy. About half the time it gives you garbage, but the other half the time it does pretty good. So I just want to showcase this to kind of give ideas for, you can do these kind of snippets on Google Business Profiles. Put it up there for, you know, these little 30-second type videos. You can post it there, do it on your website as well. And a lot of different ideas, but I just wanted to showcase this one more time for you.
Rented online and moved in the same day. Super easy. We all use this place. Highly recommended. Moving in and out for school was so easy. Super affordable too.
Our belongings are safe here. It's clean, secure, and well lit. This facility has controlled gate access and security cameras. I know my stuff's safe here.
I called around, and this place definitely had the best rates. I was able to rent my unit online in minutes.
I can just pull right up to my unit, super convenient and quick.
I love that they have temperature controlled units. It's perfect for the stuff I care about. They've got a variety of unit sizes for whatever you need.
I run a small business. This storage unit keeps my gear safe, my jobs organized, and my mornings simple.
So anyway, the way I'm thinking of it is like for the, I think I have it up here. It's like this on your website. We all have these kind of things on your website, right? Why choose and kind of these kind of things. Basically, you're just creating videos out of why choose us type stuff. So you still have your text, still have your copy. That's good for, you know, SEO and stuff. But I thought it'd be kind of cool to have like a carousel of these type of videos, putting this to, you know, life, making videos out of it. So I brought it up to, you know, a few owners this week, and there's one guy. He's not even that old. You usually think it's all the old guys are just clueless, but I told him like 3 or 4 times, you know, I made this in AI, I made this in AI, I made this in AI, showed him the whole process, played it for him. And he, after we're done, he's like, so how'd you hire those actors? What was that like? I'm like, no actors, AI. Oh, I get you did AI to, you know, write the script, but how did you get, you know, how did you hire all these guys? Were they expensive? I'm like, no, they don't exist. They're not real. So anyway, it's just something that's, again, always trying to kind of push things and then get things for attention, something to watch for something like that. So I'm gonna start doing it for my locations on Google Business Profiles and doing some carousels on their website. So I'll keep showcasing this kind of stuff because A, it's fun, but B, I think it could be valuable here in the future. Wow.
Before AI was around, Jim, I did one. I just did pictures of all the different stuff. And yeah. I did my own voiceover with music in the background. I created a little mini video for 35, 45 seconds, a little commercial, and use that old school.
Well, honestly, frankly, I would still prefer that, doing it at the site and doing the, you know, but.
Yeah, mine was of our specific site. So when they get there, they reference, go, hey, this doesn't look the same as your commercial, or an example, right?
Yep. And you can definitely customize as much as you can to make it look at your site. But yeah, sometimes it's not feasible to do those kind of videos at your site. So hey, now we have an alternative. So another way to leverage some AI stuff. All right, what else we got? You know, questions, comments, something cool to talk about?
So who's going to watch fireworks today? Any good fireworks in Utah, Jim? Over the mountain, gotta be, right?
I probably won't do it tonight. We have a thing like next town over that it's like their fair, like their town celebration. And their fireworks kick the butt of anything else during the 4th. So we always go to that, call it good. There's our 4th. This was weird though. Nothing to do with storage. It's just a bad story. But I was there last week for it. And it's like a fair kind of a thing. You got carnival rides and a bunch of people. But I started looking and there were snipers on rooftops. I'm like, that's a little weird. Well, the reason why is because the weekend prior to that, the next town over, some 16-year-old went nuts, shot up the place, killed a 9-month-old, killed a pregnant mom, killed a teenager, and killed 4 people. So they're worried about retaliation and crap like that. So it was weird. Let's put it that way. So we celebrated and we're done. Perfect. What else do I got on my list here? So speaking of next week, Eva, you have any I don't know, any topics or anything like that you want to talk about? Are we still kind of up in the air?
I got one question, Jim.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. What software you guys like the best? Do you like Cubby? Do you like Easy Storage? What things are best that you guys like?
I personally switched my sites to Cubby
Cubby.
about the beginning of the year, frankly.
Yeah.
And how's that versus like using before? Were you using SiteLink or were you using before?
I was using storage.
Storage, okay. Do you like it better or no?
I do. I like I like the fact that just the interface, a lot of things that they're implementing, they're quick. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff, a lot of things are built kind of right within it, so you're not having to piecemeal different things. I like that part of it. Customer service.
Jim, I'm really looking forward to Monument launching in the fall.
Are you? Okay.
I had another call with them this week on some of the reporting they're doing. I think Monument's gonna be a rival real quick.
Okay. There's one called CC Storage. It's free. I think free software or something. CC Storage. I heard that one in Pennsylvania or something. I don't know.
Yeah, they free. It's free. Something with the credit cards, and you pass along the credit card fees to your tenants, things like that.
Yeah.
I know of it. I never had anyone I don't know anyone that's on it that can speak about it.
Okay. And is Cubby lower fees and storage, you believe?
It's a bucket unit. It depends on the size, so it's scalable. So it's a bucket unit per month.
Okay.
Then it goes from there. If you have revenue management portion, it's a little bit higher. I think it's 25 cents. Don't get me wrong, but a little bit higher. And then if you do like a call center within it, then it's 50 cents per unit on top of that. If you do.
And do you do DaVinci Lock integration API, DaVinci Lock, and storage treasures, storage auctions, all that stuff, or?
For the locks, it's not really like an integration. You just put the serial numbers in their database, and then you just do it that way. So it's not like a direct integration, but as long as you have the serial numbers, it works the same way.
Okay, because one of my fears is that I'm using storage. I want to move to either Cubby or one of these things, and I was afraid I use the native PTI, the gate, and I use storage treasures, and I use SpareFoot. So I don't know if
is your PTI gate cloud-based or hardwired?
Cloud. We use the cloud node. The cloud node.
Okay, that's important because Cubby doesn't work with any gates that are hardwired.
Oh, okay. Okay. And does it do SpareFoot or no? SpareFoot integration?
No,
I think so, Jim. Don't they?
No, well, you can do it, but it's the manual.
Yeah.
With SpareFoot, and so you pay your finder's fee, which is always outrageous anyway, and then you pay on top of that what they're. I don't know. I had the guy send me this beautiful mind spreadsheet of how it all works with the calculations.
Okay.
You can make it work. It's just a manual process, and it's more expensive.
Hey, Jim, I think we really need to have one of these weeks. We need to have an in-depth dive into SpareFoot because there's so much out there, good and bad, and everybody talks about it. But I think having a SpareFoot centric one.
We can do it ourselves. I tried having a rep come on and never got anywhere with it.
I'll do it. I have no problem because.
Oh, seriously. Because I want to talk the good, bad, and the ugly. I don't want it to be all roses. I want to talk about.
Well, no, it is, but there's so many things that are people, hate SpareFoot for certain reasons. But if you don't do certain things, and like if you only list 1 unit out of 20 that you have on the property, you're not going to rank well. There's certain things in the rankings that you got to understand that, and understand that. And my point of that, like last year, I think Jim, they got me 1,000 rentals last year, and my whole point of the conversation was, if I wasn't on their page, would I have gotten even half of that 1,000 rentals? And my answer is going to be no.
Well, you got your numbers backwards and forwards. Would your company be willing to share that? You want to do like a 20-minute spot in 2 weeks and just do a SpareFoot showcase?
It's my data. I can do what I want. So yeah.
Done. Okay. All right, 2 weeks. We're doing a 20-minute spot on SpareFoot. There you go.
I would also be interested in the longevity of those customers, because you're saying the change is incremental, Jim, which means you would have gotten them if you didn't, or you wouldn't have gotten them if you weren't on SpareFoot, and I believe you. But I found that LOS for those customers is shorter, and
Not
that the
not in what I'm seeing.
well, it depends on the market. So, and that's
It
market
does.
sensitive because it's price and density sensitive. And Eva, you can tell me if I'm talking out of turn because again, you're the marketer, not me. But I've just found in the dense, my super dense South metros, where SpareFoot tends to be the priciest, and that the longevity of those customers didn't actually end up paying off, even though the change was incremental, and I could prove that out.
For me and my rural town in Arizona, it does work. It doesn't work in Texas, but works in Arizona. And most of them stay loan in 2 months that I'm paying 2 months. The small size 5x5, they leave in 1 or 2 months, so I break even and lose some money, but I'm okay because the bigger size stay like maybe 6 months, 9 months, or 1 year. So I'm better off using SpareFoot, help me fill up to lease up now because I need it right now, desperately to lease up when you're leasing them in that stage, you know. So.
Okay, perfect.
That could be a long conversation. Jess, you got to be on there for that because I can tell you, I've looked at length of stays down to the source code, and it's there, if not better, on some of them. So, I mean, and the ROI you're getting back on them, I mean, for me, I would rather pay that than pay for a Google ad, because the Google ad is just an ad. I'm getting a click, not a rental. With SpareFoot, I'm only getting a rental. I'm guaranteed the rental.
Okay.
Quick question on a side note for you, Jonathan. I'm not sure you guys can help me. Is back in the day, some of the stuff goes back to me, grassroots marketing. You know, a lot of stuff is automated and digital and stuff like that. But sometimes nothing beats a good old fashioned sign that says rent here, right? Or a special or something, especially if you've got that much traffic. Can I share my screen or no?
Yeah, go ahead.
Let's see.
While you're sharing your screen, I want to say the wildest thing we ever did is we actually got an animatronic person that held a sign outside of our facility at one point, and she just shook the sign that said rent here. So it worked really, really well. People would call us and be like, "Who's the lady you have standing in the storm?" And we're like, "Oh, it's a machine, actually. It's not a real person."
Oh, that's hilarious.
I mean, who was it? The real estate guy did that on that $1 Million Show or whatever like that to get people in the mattress store. Because same thing, the guy's like, "Hey, I haven't sold any business. I'm slow." And Grant Cardone got out there and he's like getting in front of cars pulling in. You know what I mean? So something old school stuff. So I had a sign like this, and we were on a cul-de-sac. So I'm like, "Hey, if you're driving down the road, you can't miss our sign. You know, it says rent here, call now, whatever." It didn't have our website on it, but still, stuff like that. Just to do something to get people in the door.
Absolutely.
Flags, signs, and they paid $100 a month for the sign, I think. And I cut the people's grass for free, and they let me put it there for free
Okay, nice.
because that was the shop on the corner, and I didn't have a street sign.
Okay,
So,
Thank
nice.
you.
Something.
Oh, actually, if we have just a second, I had a guy who would put up on his website accomplishments of the town that he was in for people. So he would put up people's names on like his sign. He'd be like, "Congratulations, this person for being, 4.0 student," or something like that. And so people would email him and tell him what the things that they wanted to have up on his sign. So then he became a huge proponent in the community, and people like loved the guy so much that he'd never had to change his prices. Like he was just rented full all the time.
That made me think of something else. That's a great thing. And if you have a local RV dealer, I used to be in automotive business, and we did heavy line suspension work. They used to do buses and trucks and stuff like that. I'm like, why don't we just go to the RV dealer down the street and let's be their preferred vendor? So we used to go, they would go sell an RV, and we would do $600 every RV prior to sale, because they're driving them. They drive like crap. His tires are bouncing, whatever. I'm like, let's do all that first as a pre-delivery. And so we got a contract, and that drove sales through the roof. So you can go down there and say, "Hey, we want to be your preferred vendor." Every time you sell an RV, they buy it and they store it. That's 90% of what they do with an RV or boat. And go give them something or whatever, an idea. And the other thing is to potentially buy a list of all the RV boat owners in your 25-mile radius that people will drive to, and then mail them a direct message, old school.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do the sign. I'll do this thing. I talked to the RV and we got one or two, but I gotta give him some money or something to figure out a good way. I'm not sure how much to give him, but that's the thing.
Well, before you give any money, just go introduce yourself. If you whoever's there,
Yeah.
old school relationship. Say hi, walk in. I'm not trying to bribe you or buy your business. We want a relationship, right?
Yeah.
What's good for you is good for me, not I pay you to do whatever. Because those, like you said, the pay per rental is better than paying a fee if I don't perform.
Mm-hmm.
And we've all done that.
Okay.
Jim, are you going to take your picture before we all jump off?
Sure, we're gonna take a 4th of July picture. All right. You're on. Turn your camera on. Gotta have a selfie. All right, on the count of 3. It's 4th of July. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Thank you. Cool. All right. Well, thank you guys. Diehards for showing up on the 4th of July. That was awesome. Great conversation for that hour. So hope you got some value out of it. That's great. Hopefully by next week, another sneak preview. I think I'll have the storage meetup official site done. So I'm kind of doing this with. It's gonna be fun. We got some vendor stuff going on, community stuff, obviously replays, but
cool.
It would be cool. Been working on that. So all
very
right.
cool.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Have a great holiday.
Good.
See ya.
Happy holidays.
Good weekend.